All right, guys, I'm going to show you how to do question number 5 and 6, as well as number 7, 8, and 9 on the rest of this rotating Sky Explorer lab so we can finish this off for good. So you're going to do this on your own, and let's start with question number 5, which is right here on the screen. In which of these 3 declination ranges would these stars show up? In the circumpolar, rise and set, or never rise region? So the first thing you want to do is on your Sky Explorer, you'll see that there are different things that you can check here. And one of them is the circumpolar region, which is essentially everything in the sky that you would be able to visibly see all day for 24 hours in this region. You have the never rise region, which is below the horizon on the other side, opposite, right? And you can see on our celestial sphere, it's basically on the North Pole and the South Pole region. So this is the never rise region. And then you have the rise and set region where it might be somewhere in between. So what you can do is add a star randomly, and you can just add that star. It'll show up on here. And then you just can set the azimuth and the altitude for 0 and 20 to mimic star A. Okay, and you can see that that is right there. And then you could actually even animate it and see if it stays within that region. If it does, then it would be a circumpolar region, the red here. If it's in this area, it will probably rise and set. That's called the rise and set region. And then star C or star A, B, and C, you just tell me which one it is. And then for the last one, the never rise would be in this blue area here. So just move the stars around to those different azimuths and altitudes, and you'll figure out which ones they are. That's pretty simple. Okay, so that's question number 5. Question number 6. This is a little bit more challenging. So essentially, if you read through this, you should do all of this stuff here, and then drag a star to this point in the sky right there. Okay, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to stop the animation. I'm going to drag this star down so that it's right at 0, 0, basically. Okay, azimuth 0, altitude 0. Okay, so it's right there in my diagram. Now, you can see that's right on the border of this. Now, please note that the latitude where I am is 40 degrees north. Okay, and really on our chart here, I'm going to be doing this one, which is already partially done for you. Okay, so 50 degrees, 50 to 90 is already filled in. We have to figure out the south point declination. So what is this all talking about? So let's start with the north point declination. This is the north point declination, the lowest point in the northern sky where this guy is visible, okay, in this circumpolar region. And if you look over here, if I click on the star and look over here, the declination of that is approximately 49.2, or around 50 degrees. Okay, actually I should change this so it is exactly at 0. It went down a little bit. Okay, so it should be declination of 50. So if my latitude is 40, my declination of this is 50. Okay, just subtract from 90. So this is already done, plus 50. Okay, the circumpolar range is this entire thing from 50 all the way up to the point up here above you right there. So that's 90. Okay, so anywhere between 50 and 90 is the circumpolar range. Basically, any star in this area from here to here is going to stay in this circle right here. And that would be basically all the way up to this center point right here, which is 90. Okay, any star in there is going to stay in that region from 50 to 90. Now the south point declination guys, is the point in the sky directly in the south. So I just drag my star over from where I had it, bring it right to the south of the sky, right on the horizon. We can actually set that if we want to 180 azimuth and 0 altitude. And that will be the south point declination. By just clicking on that star again, you'll see that it is negative 50. So in this box here, this is negative 50. I'll fill that in for you. Negative 50. Whoops, I didn't draw that very well. Okay, and then the rise and set range would be essentially from the south point to the north point. So this entire region from, let me get out of my pen mode here, erase that. From the entire region from here to here is all in that region. So basically on our celestial sphere, from this blue circle to this red circle at the top, so that's -50 all the way up to 50 is my range, my rise and set range. And so this would be -50 all the way to +50. Okay, I'm not drawing very well with this, but you get the general idea. Okay, so that's that one. Now we're just going to change our latitude. Okay, our latitude is going to change, as it says, let's do the first one, 10 degrees north, so 10 degrees, okay? And now look how small this is. I mean, the region that you can actually see stars all night long is really small. You can see where we're located on the globe. It's like right above the equator, right there. Okay, so if I put my star, let's bring this star over again. Put my star right on the north horizon to figure out our north point declination. It's right there. 0, 0. I could have done that a lot easier just by typing in 0, 0. Okay. Now, I click on that star 0, 0. What is the declination? Well, it says it right on the screen there, 80, right? And essentially, +80 is my answer for this right here. +80 is my north point declination. My circumpolar range is anywhere from +80 to the North Pole, which is 90, okay, to 90, or I should really say all the way to +90, okay? South point declination. Take the star, go back to this, take the star, move it over to the south pole, or south horizon, so 180 and 0. Make that exactly 0. And now we're going to say, okay, what's the declination? Well, you can see it's -80 right there. And so we're going to write -80 in the box, -80. And the rise and set region is essentially from -80 all the way to +80. And I know my writing on the screen is atrocious. I'm sorry about that. Basically, essentially, we're talking about this entire, from the blue to the red circle, it's -80 to +80. Okay, so do the rest of these, fill these in. They should be pretty easy now that I've done a couple of them with you. Just move your latitude to those different locations, change the latitude here, and figure out the rest of them. Okay, you'll see a pattern to it as well once you start going. All right, question number 6 on here. Let me erase the screen, sorry. Question number 6 we just did. Number 7. So number 7 says, set the simulator up for an observer on the equator, create some stars in the simulator, and click animate continuously. Describe the circumpolar stars seen from the equator. So what you can do is just set it up like it tells you. Set the equator to 0, okay, the latitude to 0. And you'll notice that there is no circumpolar region. There's no south or north there. Everything here is visible in the sky. If I just start adding stars randomly, it says to add like 20 stars on here and add some, like a long star trail behind them, okay, and animate this. Watch what happens. I mean, they're always at some point visible for this observer. He'll see every one of these things in the sky at some point. It's not going to be always visible, but at least some point they're always, there's no circumpolar stars. Okay, so that's question number 7. Number 8, set the simulator up for an observer at the South Pole. So we're just going to change this to 90 south. And now check out what's going on here. Okay, so he has all the stars that are visible in this south circumpolar region are visible. But there's no north circumpolar. You can't see Polaris. So there's nothing visible in this blue area. Okay, but you can see all the ones in this red area here. Okay. Number 9, use your experiences from these questions to help you state a general rule for identifying the 3 declination ranges given the observer's latitude. Go back to this and figure out the trend that you saw, the pattern that you saw, and essentially you're going to write down what you saw, the trend, for this question right here. Okay, how do you identify those declination ranges? Okay? You already did question number 10, and this should be done at this point, and you're going to be handing this thing in the next time that you're here. Okay? That's it.